Alright, so Jujutsu Kaisen is back again this week with another major event in this beloved Shibuya arc, which has been going crazy as of late. Gojo, Megumi, and even Nanami cooked in these recent episodes, and Yuji, who is primarily at the center of all the action this arc is throwing at us, is now face to face with the vengeful cursed womb that is Choso. Man oh man, when Nanami went off last episode, I didn't expect anything else to take place, but Mappa had to give us a taste of what's next to keep that suspenseful nature of Shibuya going, with Yuji squaring off against Choso for its conclusion. Out of everything this arc has shown us so far, including the curses pulling up to Gojo, this was easily the fight I was most looking forward to, so that 7-day wait was brutal but so damn worth it, as this episode was nothing short of a masterpiece for me. Hand to hand combat wise, this was going to be a new peak for Jujutsu Kaisen, which already has some of the best fights for current new gen stories, so it was pretty damn important for Mappa to cook here to make this shit legendary, and they indeed did. Maybe even a bit too much honestly, because each segment of the fight just kept on getting better and better to the point where I had to pause for a second multiple times and deep the madness I just watched. Yuji just got done whooping Awasaka with Megumi and headed straight to the station where he ended up encountering the menace himself, Choso, who just like the other cursed spirits was hunting Yuji down. Unlike Jogo and Mahito, who want Yuji for other nefarious reasons, Choso and Yuji got history as he obviously killed his brothers, so it was smoke from the get-go. Choso, before Yuji even landed in the station, was already on timing, and this was the beginning to probably one of the craziest fights I've ever seen animated, if I'm being real. The start was the definition of fight now, talk later, and from frame 1 you could already tell Choso was a demon. Without a moment's notice, he shot off piercing blood, which basically shoots off a beam of condensed blood that is reinforced by his cursed energy, and even the physical monster that is Yuji Itadori couldn't avoid it. From what I've noticed, the beginning of this deathmatch had one goal, and that was to show how powerful this man Choso is, and that this threat Yuji is currently facing is unlike anything he's faced before. Yuji fought twice in this arc, and he handled both fights pretty damn easily, to be honest. Grasshopper Bro was basically a warm-up for Yuji, and although he fought Awakasa with Megumi, that was another fight that wasn't really difficult for him at all. Once they caught onto his technique, he got handled pretty easily, but this guy on the other hand, the special grade cursed womb Choso, he's a monster in every way, shape and form, and for the first time in this arc, our boy Yuji is in some crazy trouble. Choso had pretty much everything for every scenario, which is insane as he had little to no battle experience at the time, unlike Yuji. Piercing blood had him on the ropes, so Yuji ended up going for what he does best in the form of close range combat, but nope, Choso pretty much had him beat there too. His attacks varied from long range with the piercing blood, mid range with the supernova explosion move, and he had the blood daggers if Yuji wanna come close. Choso had something for everything Yuji threw, and at this point you slowly realize Yuji might actually be cooked here if something don't change in his favor. Even in a scrap with just hands, Yuji was falling short to Choso, which is insane when you deep it, because there's barely anyone in the verse that steps to Yuji in a straight up brawl. This showcase from Choso here with the Kamo clan abilities makes this blood manipulation technique look so damn powerful, and as long as Choso has cursed energy, he does not need to worry about blood loss, so basically he has no weakness to his game. I was rooting for my boy Yuji to slam him down, but Choso was cooking him, and you just gotta respect it. Even though Yuji was getting beat, he eventually managed to close the gap between them, all thanks to Mekamaru. Despite Mekamaru getting packed by Mahito, he is still doing wonders for the sorcerers, helping them out in any way he can, and with his plan to lure Choso into the bathroom so he can't use his blood manipulation effectively anymore, Yuji and Choso were now at equal footing, and this was where the real fight between them begins, with one of the coolest face-offs in the series where both of them square up to each other. Choso at this point is established as one of the strongest we've seen, and after Mekamaru changed the game drastically, it was time for Yuji to put up a decent fight. The stage was set for him to pop off, and for a short while he actually did. Yuji was kind of mixing him up with what he does best, and for a moment it looked like he was about to win. It wasn't easy at all, they were both dealing some strong attacks, but as Choso is severely nerfed here and Yuji can pretty much just lay on him, the tide shifted in his favor. But of course, Choso didn't get established as this menace for him to go out like this, and after Yuji got clocked in the liver, I legit thought it was over for him right here. My boy Yuji, just like in the beginning, got caught in a nasty way. It all seemed fishy that Yuji started getting the upper hand this quick, and the anime does a really good job in portraying that through the exchange. And I forget this because the fights be so immersive, but you honestly can't let your guard down when watching a Jujutsu Kaisen fight. If things are going well for your protagonist or any other character really, something bad might be looming for them, and this was the case for my boy Yuji right here. But knowing his role in the totality of things, Yuji puts his foot down and locks in for the sake of not only himself, but all the sorcerers who have to get through here in order to save Gojo. He's willing to lay down his life, as in his mind Yuji is not the protagonist. He does not have to be the one to save Gojo, and the way he comes to this conclusion in the heat of battle completely clearing all distractions and even getting stronger in the process portrays the growth from Yuji here, and this was easily my favorite moment from the fight. Even Choso gears up, and at this point the fight finally reaches its peak. Yuji is now completely locked in, and Choso, upon noticing, risks his life in order to win, and this exchange right here was just incredible to say the least. Choso would slam Yuji onto the ground, Yuji would clap back with a two-piece combo, kicking him onto the wall, then throwing him across the room. It was all just perfect, and a scrap that ticks all boxes for me, especially because the OST was so freaking sick. And something probably a lot of you noticed was a callback to the one used when Yuji and Nobara fought his brothers. The coolest exchange in all of JJK, leading up to that penultimate final punch to end it all that obviously Yuji ends up failing to connect properly. Choso gets that final combo, ending the fight with him as the winner, and Yuji beat down pretty bad. All that scrapping, build up and dramatic moments in this death battle led to Choso taking the W and Yuji sat defeated. A conclusion that I wasn't expecting at all when I first seen this content, to be honest, but as I said earlier, you can never let your guard down when watching a Jujutsu Kaisen fight. Even though he's the protagonist, he still takes a loss like this, and although there's so much to discuss with the actual fight itself, that freak out from Choso just distracted me from everything that just took place. Memories that didn't previously exist before just spawned in Choso's mind, and in it contained a dinner between him, the other Kazooms, and Yuji. I'm sure you can piece some information from that little moment there about what it could mean, but for now I'm just gonna skip over here until the anime addresses it some more. Even though we just watched the best fight in the story so far, this conclusion and all the mystery it contains was the only thing I could focus on after seeing this content. Gege left some interesting background information for Yuji here, and to this day it still hasn't been fully explored in the manga, but something I am so interested in seeing revealed. This ending here, the fight itself, Sukuna showing up to flame these two for being weak as hell, easily makes it one of the most entertaining fights I've ever watched. And if episodes are being adapted to this standard, I don't even know what to expect next, with segments that are even crazier than this one. MAPPA have truly made a masterpiece of a fight here, and at this point the studio is just competing with itself to make each episode better than the last. I think a lot of manga readers can agree, this fight in terms of combat is one of the best the manga has to offer that took the medium to its absolute limits. The panels was composed in a really creative way to express the movement in detail, and MAPPA managed to adapt it perfectly. Along with adapting the manga content, MAPPA was even throwing some original stuff in there that ended up looking so dope. Off the top of my head, showing Choso's abilities as the different stations was super cool. This was the best episode of the arc for me personally, because from start to finish it was straight heat that I couldn't take my eyes off, and it's insane how this fight is not a top 3 segment in the arc. There is still so much madness that's yet to take place, but I am so here for it. Choso solidified himself as being built different, and before the events that took place in this episode, he did not give off the aura he showed off here. From the moment he stood toe to toe with Yuji, even without his abilities, he was valid in my eyes and became one of the most raw characters in the series. Jujutsu Kaisen as of recent has been popping off, and it's only continuing with that streak, which is insane. If you guys enjoyed watching me talk about this fight, hit that like button and subscribe for more videos like this. I'm probably gonna go watch it again for the 3rd time, so thanks again for watching this video, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.